Hey there guys, Elita-Legionarii here, and today I'm bringing you a bit of a special Rome Total War 31k battle. As you can see before me, I'm commanding the Scythia faction. Scythia very rarely gets used in 31k, and I don't believe I've ever uploaded a battle where I myself have used them. So hence I thought it might be something different for a change of pace to upload. And I had quite a bit of enjoyment with this battle, so I'm quite keen to upload it. Now, before I get into this commentary, there's just something I want to bring up that's come to my attention relatively recently in the last few days. There are people who have complained to me about my channel in regards to my commentary, and that they have sort of implied that I am trashing other players when I do commentary, and I don't believe that's fair. I do not believe I trash people when I commentate. The only person who would ever get trashed on my channel is myself, because I don't like to be trashed on other people's channels, and I wouldn't do it to other players, but I believe there are players out there who are mistaking my criticisms of some of their mistakes on the battlefield as personal degrading of them, and that is not true. I do not behave like that in my commentaries, and I wouldn't do that. I'm not the kind of person who would do that in my commentaries. I derive no pleasure out of pulling other people's self-esteem down online or anything like that, and I want to stress that point now. When I do a commentary, and let me explain this, guys, I like to look at it comprehensively from a non-biased point of view. Okay, I will criticize myself, I will criticize my allies, and I will criticize my enemies if they make mistakes, and I will also praise other people as well if they make good moves, because every battle has mistakes and every battle has good moves, and if you're going to do good commentary that is accurate, that is legitimate, that basically describes and goes into detail with everything that happens in a battle, then sometimes you've got to say that this person makes a bad move and this person's done this wrong and blah blah, or this team's done this wrong. It does not mean that I am thinking less of that person. It does not mean I am trashing them. It does not mean I'm attacking them or anything like that. I have no personal grievances with any of the people I'm playing with here. I believe I get on fairly well with all of them. But if they make mistakes on the battlefield, I'll point it out. If they make good moves, I'll point it out. And I will do the same to myself, because I like to just commentate the battle as it is, Because when you commentate a battle, you're looking at a replay. Well, this is a replay, isn't it? So I can look back at this replay and I can say, I've got that observation of it being a replay. Whereas when you're in the heat of the battle, and I'll admit to this, you often don't. Under the pressure of the battle, you don't often react as well as you can. Sitting at a replay is easy to look at it and say, yeah, he should have done that. But in the battle, sometimes the pressure of the situation, and you don't make the right move. I do it all the time. I make loads of mistakes. In fact, I make shitloads of mistakes. And I just basically want to say that I will criticize players in this battle, but it's constructive criticism. I'm not attacking them personally. I'm just saying they made mistakes or errors with their units, okay? So I'm going to do that here, and I'm not personally attacking any of these players in any way, shape or form, okay? I'm just going to legitimately say things as I see them and as they are. So anyway, enough of that. Yes, I'm playing as Scythia, so a faction that is rarely used. I should need to pause it again. I know you guys it's been paused for a while, but you don't want to miss stuff, so... I'm using Scythia, a faction that is very, very rarely used. Obviously, it has nothing to offer in the way of infantry, but it does have a pretty decent archer unit in the Chosen Archer Warband. It's not a great archer unit, but it's got good range, it's decent armour, and it's all around decent archer unit, sort of middle of the road among the higher tier archers. It's not bad. And I have 14 of those, and I have 6 of the most excellent headhunting maidens. These women. These lovely ladies are extremely dangerous, especially to enemy cavalry. They've got the armor-piercing axe there. They've got a good 8 charge, and they're very fast and nimble. Much because they come into the light cavalry sort of classification, they are very, very fast. They can easily catch other units and outrun other units very easily. There are very few units that are a lot quicker than this one. There are a few, of course, like the Jav-Cav types, but these units are very, very quick, very nimble, very, very useful, and because they got their armor piercing, they're very good at killing cav, even the heavier cav types like cataphracts and so on and so forth. So very, very good, and I've got them absolutely maxed out. They're going to be the killing potential of my army for the most part. My allies here are Hades of the Titan clan. Hades has brought in, let's see, his typical build by the looks of things: six Praetorian Cav, a Legionary First, and 13 Urbans. I always feel great having Hades at my side, fellow clanmate, extremely good player, and a really nice guy. So I'm confident with Hades next to me here, because I'm using a faction that has a lot of glaring weaknesses, and as you know, I'm not particularly great at lots of micro work. So I have to, I'm pleased to know I've got Hades here next to me, backing me up. Then I have MGM as my ally here with Macedon. He often joins in with us Titans these days and plays with us quite a bit. He's brought 14 Royal Pikemen and 6 Cav, which is a good build. He doesn't need to bring Cretans because I have so many archers, so he doesn't need to. This is a good build to complement us. Sorry, guys. And then we've got Mohammed on the left flank with the Julii Romans. He's got 14-6, I believe. Again, Mohammed, much like Hades, very good player, and I always feel great having Mohammed on my side as well. And I've been learning lots from both Mo and Hades, and Beast, of course, over the last couple of weeks in the Titans. So I feel good with these guys here backing me, and knowing I've got these quality players backing me. Our opponents are all Brotherhood members. We have Brotherhood member Sam Crow. It's nice to see Sam back. I haven't seen Sam around for a while, but Sam is a good player, and I enjoy seeing him back online. He's got, I believe, 2 Roman archers, 2 archer auxilia, looks like 5 Praetorian cavalry, 1 Roman cavalry. That's interesting. Maybe he was thinking of going archer hunting or something with my guys. And then the rest are urban cohorts. We have Brotherhood member TR here with the Brutii as well. He's got 3 archers. TR usually almost always brings archers. So he's got 3 archer auxilia, 4 Praetorian cav, 1 Roman armoured general, and the rest are urban cohorts. Then we got, I'm not sure who this player is. He's got Brotherhood tags on, but I have no idea who this player is. So if you guys know who M is, you can just leave a comment. 6 Praetorian Cav, a Legionary First Cavalry, and it's not cavalry, cohort, and the rest are urbans. And then we've got Axilius, aka Greco of Brotherhood, on the left opposite me. He's got 5 Praetorian Cav, 6 Archer Auxilia, and the rest are urban cohorts. So let's begin. It's been paused far too long. So immediately, I want to get into positions of flanks. I want to try and turn flanks. I want to be able to put my archers there, and I want to be able to maybe single out enemy cavalry, because as I said, the headhunting mages are very, very good at killing cavalry. If I can separate and single out these Praetorian cavalry, for instance, of Axilius, that would be great, or if I could get it as archers, that would also be great. Now, I personally think Axilius is and M here are not actually making the best maneuver here. Bearing in mind, obviously I'm going to want to skirmish them, but I have no infantry. So as long as they use both their cavalry, obviously Hades would be backing me up if they did a move like this, but if they use both their cavalry, taking into account that we've got all of Axilius' infantry here and I've got none, so Axilius could send his infantry to back their cavalry, they could drive me back and rush me, which would be a good move. I basically, factions like this, or builds like this one, where you've got tons of archers and only Cavs supporting them, are really vulnerable to a rush. So, for instance, Scythia, like Egypt, Gaul, those kind of factions that you know are going to bring lots of cavalry or chariot units and then crap loads of archers, have no infantry to back them up. So you can peel off, even if Axilius took, say, 6 of these urban cohorts here, his archers to back up, and him and M use both their cavalry. Out here, Hades would have to come back me up, but they'd still have infantry from M here to keep Hades' infantry out, so they'd have cavalry, missiles, and they'd have infantry advantage over us. So that's why I think they should have rushed me, because this is what I want. I want them to play defense so that I can flank them and hopefully shoot them in the back, or separate out units of archers at the back, for instance. That's actually what I want to do, and that's what I was hoping to do. That's why I had such a spread formation in my deployment, because I want to spread into different directions and surround my opponent. so I can get flank shots. And I want like Hades or MGM or Mo to turn a flank for me. So these guys sort of deploy diagonally, well, not diagonally, sort of in this kind of formation like this, coming across here like this, because that will turn these guys to face it so that I can then shoot them in the back. That's what I want to do. So that's why I think these guys should have rushed, because I've got to try and micro 14 archers and protect 14 archers with 6 cavalry and only having skirmish mode to back me up. It's pretty likely if a good concentrated cav rush backed by infantry, providing they sort of just didn't let themselves get too isolated and separated out in locations, I would probably make mistakes micro wise. So that's why I think they should have rushed. That's what I would want to do in this scenario. But these guys have taken a more Brotherhood style of play, which is a defensive link-up style. You can see in the back here that Sam Crow's cav is glitched quite badly. Even though this was played on Game Ranger, even though Game Ranger is way better than Steam, the glitches still happen, and that's not because of the server though. It's just because Rome Total War sometimes struggles to handle all the units and things that are happening in 4v4s. It has always been this way, so that's why that's happening. But it's easily recoverable if you just sort of degroup and press backspace, and you can just recover your men and then move them into a walking position, and they should recover with a glitch like that. As you can see, the infantry battles begun here on Hades. He's going to take a defensive approach, which is wise because obviously he could be overwhelmed by superior numbers of infantry. But Exilius wisely doesn't try flanking too much here, because if he did, he'd be turning his flanks to me, which is again what I want to do. I want him to turn his flanks to me, because if he turns his flanks to me, then I will easily be able to shoot the crap out of his infantry. I've sent quite a large number of my archers. I believe it was 6 or 7 archers, about half my archers this way, because I know that Sam Crow and TR have quite a bit of archer units. I believe they have about 6 or 7 between them. So I'm going to just help Mo and shoot them up for these guys, and then I'm going to send about the other 6 or 7 to use on the flank here. But I really want to nullify Exilius's archers here. And I know my headhunting maidens are going to be very good for this. If Exilius makes a mistake in protecting them, I will be able to get them very quickly, because the headhunting maidens move a lot quicker than the Praetorian cavalry. And I really want to. I will shoot these guys a little bit, but I really want to get them with my cavalry, because I want to save that archer unit for the flank shots on these guys, because I need to do that. Otherwise, it won't be going so great. At the start here, pretty even on the Peeler duel here. Hades is taking his time here, and MGM's just sent a couple of raw pikemen. This is mostly just to stop a cavalry push here, because Hades needs that backing really, because my cav's quite far away at the moment, because I'm looking for opportunities to get my flanks, and I need my cavalry to protect my archers basically, at least for now. So as you can see, I'm moving guys up this way to focus on all these archers here that are opposing Mohammed and MGM. Not a lot happening on this flank just yet, but these guys are taking a very defensive approach, but they're pushing on Hades. So I really want to get into some flanks. Now I see here that Exilius has sent his cavalry up this way to try and support pushes on Hades, so here's my option. I'm going to go in and I'm going to get rid of these archer units now. I want to try and collect as many of them as possible, and because they're all kind of clustered up like this and not spread out as much, I should be able to catch them. So I got one, and I'm going to go and try and get the other, and Exilius is going to try and catch me here, but believe you me, he will not be able to catch me, because these guys move quicker than Praetorian cavalry. So I'm going to just try and deal with these guys. I get another one, and they're on skirmish mode, and all the while I am shooting here. I'm just going to hang around here and try and get as many of these guys as possible, because then I'll have archer supremacy over here, and I will be able to skirmish into the flanks of these guys, which is exactly what I want. So as you can see, Exilius is not going to be able to catch me, and also this is good for me from the perspective of Praetorian cavalry will straight up lose to headhunting maidens if I'm in regular formations here, because Praetorian cavalry the headhunting maidens rip through the armor. They can even defeat cataphracts. So I'm going to try and I'm going to shoot at his cavalry now, and I'm going to try and use my headhunting maidens to get us around in on these cavalry units of Exilius. So I'm just waiting for him to come here. He hasn't got all of his cav here. I believe he's only got 4. Actually, no, I think Exilius only had 4. Well, he's got 5. So I'm actually going to charge him here. Now, to be honest, looking back at this battle, I wish I had probably just used more regular formation instead of wedge, because that works much better for headhunting maidens than wedge. They've got a good 8 charge, because you notice how like their formation is much looser than a usual cavalry unit. They're better suited to just melee grinding in regular formation. Exilius tries a defensive approach here, which wasn't necessarily a bad idea, but he's a bit overwhelmed. And Hades is bringing 3 cav in to back me up, so I'm guaranteed to win this with good numbers in reserve, which was nice. I probably would have definitely won it, but this is going to make me win it smoother from Hades' approach here. He can also get rid of these archers, which have regrouped and are shooting me. So that's really nice for us. We managed to drive the Exilius' cav off the field, which is great. Over on this side, there's been several cavalry charges and hits over here. It looks like M is really pushed up on Hades here. Exilius should have pushed with him here, I think, but he done it from this angle over here, so he could avoid getting shot at by my archers in the flank. As you can see, he's get some nice charges by MGM here into the flank. Or some, it wasn't the best charge there, but Mo's backing him up as well. But as you can see, they're still harassing M here as well. And Exilius is... He's very wise not to turn his flank here, because he knows I'll shoot the crap out of them. But even so, I'm still shooting the crap out of these guys over here, this general's unit, and any of these units of M that are twisted backwards, or not twisted backwards, are just facing the front here, and I've got these guys shooting them in the flank. As you can see, cavalry strikes from Mohammed and MGM are coming in, and me and Hades have just been in the back here, guaranteeing that these archers will not come back. And we're going to set up for a flank shot here, because as you can, not flank shot, flank charge into the back, because as you can see, we've got our missile units around the back, so we're getting flank shots, and we're going to charge from this way and from this way. So hopefully that'll enable us to rout Exilius and M off the field completely. You can see that Macedon's still holding on the centre, and Mohammed's making no aggressive pushes whatsoever. We're trying to win over here. Hades is doing a great job holding out. He is taking quite a lot of damage though, because he's sort of basically fighting 2 groups of infantry. But he's got better cavalry support, so that's keeping him in the game there. And I believe one of the generals just got killed by Macedon here. I think this might have been M's general killed on the Macedonian pikes here. As you can see, MGM's making strikes here. Nice strike too. He's going to get that general unit to start routing. And over here, Hades strikes from this side and this side, and I'm going to back him up. Now, this is where I make a critical mistake. If we look here, my general unit, I selected all my cav and hit wedge formation for the charge. Have you noticed at the start of the battle, I had not had my general in wedge formation? You should never, ever put your general in wedge formation, because if you do, your general will be right at the front of the unit up here, and when he hits, he'll die. And that's going to happen to me very soon. I was trying to avoid that, and I just sort of forgot about it in all the action that was going on. He does survive the initial impact, I believe, but he will eventually get killed by for that reason. MGM makes a nice move here. He goes in with me and Hades from the side and the front, and this is going to kill off M's infantry force and Exilius' infantry force, I believe. I think Exilius is still over here. Yeah, Exilius is going to get destroyed as well. All the while, archer fire has been going in. I actually lost a lot of my headhunting maidens, though, because again, if you look, you can see quite a number of them here. They're not, and there's my general dying, which is never a good thing for a barbarian faction like Scythia. But yeah, you notice I lost a lot more cavalry than Hades or MGM, because they are light cavalry. So it would have been better if I'd used them in regular formation. I think they're more durable that way than in wedge. But I mean, I don't have like tons of experience with Scythia in 31k. Here we can see that Sam Crow's pushing with his cav, but he goes much too far. So now Hades, myself, Mo, and MGM are going to completely swamp him. What also helps us too is because he's at this angle, I can shoot him in the back with my archers as well. Cavalry strikes coming through from TR, try and break through Hades' men here, but Hades holds. His infantry is very condensed, so it's very strong, and it resists. And we're able to... Sam Crow extracts about 2 or 3 of his cav, but we managed to get rid of most of his cav there. Now this is leaving me free to totally outflank my opponents with my archers now. I've lost the archer duel on this side more or less, but at the same time I've done quite a bit of damage. As you can see, a number of these guys have been killed off. But TR and Sam Crow did win that, but it kept their archers away from this fight over here, where I was able to use my own other archers on the flank. As you can see, Hades is making rear charges here, and he's getting some nice ones off. MGM's going to back up here, pour on his pikes, just adding numbers to the masses there, which is good. I noticed some of these cav of Exilius, and I think some of his archers may have even regrouped, so I'm just going to quickly go get rid. And I also noticed this general's unit. Now, I don't know if the general was still alive. I think it might actually be dead, but I wasn't sure, so I was going to go try and kill it. But I do believe I'll get caught out by TR's cav in a minute. As you can see, TR is now pushing his... Sam Crow's pushing his army over. These guys are really pinned up on these raw pikemen, and now Mohammed's going to push in. Mohammed's been very slow to engage his infantry. He's reserved them for a key moment, and this is really nice because, as you can see, these guys are very clustered here. I even tossed some of my archers in to run out of ammo. But MGM's a bit disorganised here with Macedon, which isn't good. He needs to be a bit more organised. But then MGM doesn't really use the pike factions very much, so he's got very little experience with them. But it doesn't really matter. He's just pushing numbers up here, which is keeping all of these Romans of TR busy, which is going to enable Mo to push his guys in. I'm gonna, as you can see, I've got tons of my archers just using fire arrows and regular arrows here, lowering morale. I'm about to lose my guys here, but they should kill quite a number of these cavalry units. And they're keeping their cavalry busy, which means Mo can use his cavalry over here unopposed, and Hades can do the same with his remaining few. He's going to make a nice charger here. I've got fire arrows coming in, which is lowering the morale, and regular arrows, of course. So Mo's not really going to bother with Peeler. He'll do a little bit of Peeler in these back units, but he's just going to push it in and put the numbers on. And as you can see, he's going to move behind now. He's going to get a nice rear charge. Hades is pushing the remainder of his infantry in here, so these guys of TR are now sandwiched between the pikes and Hades' infantry. And here's going to be a nice charge on the general's unit from Mohammed. He slices in there, gets the general, and that causes quite a big rout. And they've also been under fire arrow and regular arrow shot in their back, so that lowered their morale and numbers quite a bit as well. And at this stage, the enemy team more or less just mashed routs. Some of Sam Crow's cavalry grouped and goes after my archers, but archers can be a real nuisance to try and catch with cavalry sometimes. And all the while he's getting shot at by other units I've got around the field. So all in all, I think our opponents needed to make my life more difficult with Scythia. I think I got it too easy with them, if you know what I mean. I was able to set up, I had separate battles with my cavalry, and I got all my archers around the flanks as much as I wanted, and when that happens, it's very bad to let factions that have big skirmishing numbers do that. Sorry guys, I've got a dry throat from too much talking. But yeah, it's very, very bad to let your opponents get that kind of complete flanking position like that. So what would have been better for Exilius to do would have been mix his infantry and his cavalry, combine with M and push at me. The cavalry numbers would be fairly equal, but they'd have infantry as well, so that would have given them an advantage without reducing any of their power on other locations of the battlefield. Overall in this battle, again, it was a good battle. I liked it from the perspective that I got to use Scythia, and again, I'm not a great micro player. I mean, I'm getting better slowly, but when I get a nice game like this and with a rare faction, I just like to upload it. You know, it's different, it's exciting, and it's a lot of fun. So, a great game to everyone. Just let me go to the end screen there. So, I was very pleased with my performance personally. I thought I did pretty good. I mean, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet. I mean, I made mistakes. I made a mistake with my general there, but as I said, I think I got it a little easy because I got no pressure put on me, really. My fights were separate ones and easy ones, and I was able to just take my time. When you've got a skirmish army like that, you should pressure it. The enemy team should rush it and pressure it. As long as it's well supported, it's very difficult for that skirmish player to try and micromanage everything. But nonetheless, I didn't really have any pressure put on me, so I was able to just set up and take my time, essentially. So I come away with 1352, and Mohammed comes away with 1552. Just a nice 1000 of MGM and 1558 for Hades. So Mo and Hades take highest kills. But nonetheless, I think it was a good team effort, good teamwork. Let's see, looks like M and TR have got the only ones over 1000 there. Exilius and Sam Crow not so much. Again, I think if Exilius and M had really pushed at me, I may have had a lot of difficulty, in which case they would have had a substantial advantage if they managed to do that. So sometimes the defensive strategy isn't always the right one. It works well for the Brotherhood clan. I don't deny they're very good at it. But in this case, I think they really should have pushed at Scythia, because Scythia's got no infantry and only 6 cavalry. And Hades would have definitely backed me for sure, but even so, they would have had extra infantry backing it up. And I think that was where they probably made the critical mistake that caused them to lose. But it happens. I've made plenty of mistakes like that one myself. And again, like I said at the start, I'm not making any. I'm not attacking Axilius or anything like that, or M or TR or Sam Crow. They played well. They were good opponents. I enjoyed playing with them. They were good sports. But I've just got to do my commentary straight up and recognise what mistakes are being made and what good things are being made by both teams. So again, great game to everybody involved. I hope everyone enjoyed it. I had a great time, and I haven't showed you the kills here. My kills, my Headhunting Maiden's got quite a few, 174 here, which is nice, 171 here for the Generals unit, actually, that's nice. And the Archers have all got nice kills, actually. But again, I didn't have a great difficult battle because I had pretty much all the positioning I wanted. But anyway, great game to everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon next time.